Right, good morning folks, it's Paul Harrison here on Wednesday morning. I hope you're all exceedingly well. Some good trades going on at the moment. I know some people have made some very good money on stocks that have come up recently, so more of that the better. Fantastic, great stuff. Okay, so first stock we've got is ALXA. We've got an upward trending support line here. Nothing really of a huge amount of concern. Obviously, I'd be looking for a better entry point. It looks like a pretty big day, down day yesterday, because you're going to have to use a long position on there. You're going to have to take a stop order to get into that trade. If I was going to nitpick, then possibly it's just that this has bobbled around for the last few months. If we're looking at this resistance line here at around about 6, then you're probably going to be looking at a longer term upward trend there as well. Okay. Also to be aware, previously the stock has rallied very aggressively off that support previously, but it hasn't done so much here. A little bit of a break there, but not so much. Okay. Then we have Sierra Golf Kilo, and a nice support line at around about the 1066 mark. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 3 bounces. We've got potentially could come down for a 4th bounce there. Other things to look at. Yeah, stock's been pretty unison. Pretty decent range there. Pretty decent range depending on how you get your entry point. So yeah, that could be interesting. Then we have Delta Echo Sierra Kilo, and a line of resistance around about the $50 mark. It has been upward trending for the last few months. There's upward trending support line here. Okay, so that would be something to be aware of, that there's that upward trending resistance line, support line. But then again, the longer term trend is the stronger trend, and that's the horizontal one. Then we have Alpha, and an upward trending support line, bounce, bounce, bounce. Quite a heavy sell-off here, which it hasn't really done as aggressively as what it did here. I think that was probably in line with the fall of the markets though, and come up to a pretty decent entry point. So you've got your doji that was sitting on there as well. Then we have Delta Golf, resistance line around about the 52.20 mark. A bit scrappy as it comes up here. Obviously it's hit the resistance line already, so I would be looking for a stop order to trade on that one. Had a big down day here, went up and then it came down and closed slightly lower than what it opened, and then yesterday was pretty much a slightly upward day as well, so it might still come up to put a doji in around about the resistance line. Something like this would be absolutely perfect. Should that come up to that resistance line, form a new high, and that would give you a nice tight little entry point there. So yeah, PBT, Papa Bravo Tango, support line at around about 1240, bounce, 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 bounce. Yeah, it was previously downward trending, November, December, January, February, March. So you've got your more than 4 months there, so you can consider that a trend, or a line obviously of support. Yep, just get your entry point. I probably want my entry point a little bit lower than where it is at the moment, so I wanted to sell off a little bit. SGK, Sierra Golf Kilo, which we've already had a look at. Well done, Harrison. Then we have AEM, Alpha Echo Mike, and here we have some kind of upward trending support line. We also have a downward trending resistance line. I'd be a little bit concerned with this because just with the clash of these two lines, what's going to happen over the next couple of days. Be interesting to see if there should be a breakout one way or the other on that. The key is selecting which way it goes actually, which is pretty straightforward to say. Then we have ATRO with a slight downward trending resistance line. Because it's downward trending, we're going to have to use a stop order. Nice little entry point there. It's not going to cost you too much to get into that trade. So yeah, things to have a look at. It's gapped once or twice, most notably there, which I'm guessing was an announcement around that area, or something of that sort. But on the whole, not too overly great. And something else I want to show you here. Just have a look at this. Note how when it's come up to that resistance line, it has put in dojis before. Okay, and remember, guys and gals, the only thing we know about a stock is what it's done before. Okay, so again, this is how we assess the personality of the stock. It has put in a lot of dojis through here. We're not interested in them unless they're coming up to a support line or resistance line. Hope that makes sense. Then we have BMA, Bravo Mike Alpha, upward trending support line. A little bit of a break there, but obviously those those days are still on the support line. Pretty big down day yesterday, so I'd want to see it put in a nice indicator for change of direction there, because obviously you're going to have to use a stop order. If you're using a stop order off this trade, that risk is going to be too big, I'm guessing. Okay, I'm guessing. Move EXC, Echo X-Ray Charlie, downward trending resistance line, boom, boom, boom. Pretty decent range, some indecision around about this area here. So yeah, not a terrible trade. I do like that it's downward trend. Wee, what's going on here? Clear zoom. Okay, downward trending. It does tend to move pretty aggressively away from that the resistance line, and you see it's done it there as well. And then it took maybe a week and a half before it really sold off. But that was, you were on to making a lot of money should you be into that in that position there from, let's say, around about the what about the 36, 35, 50 mark down to 28. That's a nice little move there. But again, remember, folks, personality of the stock. Personality of the stock is very important here. GSM, Golf Sierra Mike, upward trending support line, bounce, bounce, bounce. And it's put in some indecision there. Really, it's done it a few times actually. A lot of dojis happening around there. A little bit of an erratic stock as well. It can move pretty aggressively. It can gap a bit. It can have very big days. Which obviously, very big days are great if they're going in your direction, but not so great if they're going against you. INTC. Downward trending resistance line here. Great stuff. No problems there. Still a pretty chunky stock, which is nice, around about the $21 mark at the moment, $22 mark. My concern here is obviously the entry point again. It's put in a big up there yesterday, so I would be interested to see at the open whether the stock actually broke through the resistance, because I'm guessing with that much momentum behind it, it could be a day where basically it just continues on going up. Then we have MDC. Upward trending support line, bounce, 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 bounce. Again, a reasonable entry point there. MDC, yeah. Again, you're going to have to use a stop order to get into that trade. Resistance line to be aware of, obviously. There's some resistance around about the $40 mark. So, yeah, but the longer term trend is up. The shorter term resistance line is horizontal, okay, which normally makes it a stronger resistance line than a downward trending resistance line or an upward trending resistance line, if that makes sense. Because obviously it's clearer defined, therefore a lot of people are looking to take profits around about that area. It's a lot more clearer defined to the big financial institutions there. Then we have MYGN. Upward trending support line, slightly upward trending, bounce, 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 bounce. Nice little doji there. I think you'd have to work out your ratios. I mean, it was quite a big distance between the low and the high, but maybe in the context of the trade, not that extreme. So it would be worth doing some calculations there. Then we have some resistance around about the $27 mark. So your 10% is there, but ratios is what it's all about. Then we have Sohu, Sierra Oscar Hotel Umbrella. Downward trending resistance line, bounce, 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 bounce. Lovely. That's as textbook as it's going to get. I think that's actually a downward mark there as well. So, sorry, downward day there as well. So, yeah, if you can get your ratios on that. Clear zoom. What would I be looking at here? Probably some upward trending support, but the longer term trend is down as well. Then we have UNT. Upward trending support line, bounce, 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 bounce. Perhaps it's a day late on that one. We have Victory Alpha Lima. Upward trending support line, bounce, 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 bounce. A nice little entry point again. It would ideally, I'd rather have that as a slightly up day, but again, it's hanging on that that doji. So again, next question I'm asking is ratios. We've done AEO. AEO, some support at the $18.40 mark, around about $18.40. Had a pretty long sell-off down there, so I don't know how you're going to be able to see if you're going to get your ratios on that. Something else to be aware of here, if you look at these days, I mean, those are pretty much all down days there. What has it done previously? A lot of down days, but not as many as a high percentage as what we've got here at the moment. Same thing here. There were a number of other green bars in there. So again, these are these tiny little things I try to show you on these kind of webinars, just so you can it can just add you a little 0.5% to your trading or something like that. But if I had to nitpick about this, I would say that people know that there is support there. There has been a reasonable setup over the last few days, and it's come down and actually pushed further. Note how it's pushed further than any other of these lows here. Okay, so that's your lowest point. If you are going to trade this, you need to use a stop order. There's, obviously it's hit the support line already, but I think that there is that much impetus for it going down. I would only feel safe trading that if I was using a stop order. Okay. We had TRC, and that is a line of resistance at around about the $31 mark. Bounce, bounce. Yeah, still coming up there. So yeah, I'm not ready to trade right now, but yep, no major issues with that. Again, a stock, it does move aggressively. Note how aggressively it moves. I mean, we all know the saying that obviously the bull goes up the stairs and the bear goes out the window, but look how quickly this sells off. Look at bang, 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 sold off there aggressively as well. So again, the stocks that you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time on. But we're not always looking for that. I mean, we're happy to sit in a position for 3 months if needs be. Then we've got an upward trending support line here. Maybe slightly missed it, as it probably looks like it's in this direction, going in this direction. Do you see how many of these stocks we're looking at that are actually, they're obviously following the rules, but they're actually acting like we're expecting them to act? It's very important to notice this. I mean, something like that, we're maybe a few days late, but it is going in the direction we would expect it to go with the kind of the analysis we're doing. Okay. WLT, so that really is it should give you a lot more confidence in the strategy. Again, this is Whiskey Lima Tango, some support around here, bounce, bounce, bounce. There was a previous support line a little bit higher. This is one we've discussed a lot on the webinars. A little bit of a break up there. Yeah, it goes with the rules. I'd rather it just seems to be hanging around a little bit too much on the support line here. But if you do get into this trade and it does go your direction, you've got a lot of money to make, because if you look at this on the close-up from circa 30 up to 40, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good ratio you got there. We have Golf Tango, upward trending support line here. What's it put in? An upward hammer. Happy days. Okay, so. Next question is, are you going to get your ratios on that, and can you refine your entry point? So, I hope that's been helpful. Some good trades. Really well done to people who are selecting these trades, man. You seem to be picking up a lot of the little nuances that make all the difference in trading success. So, well done on that. Yeah, hope you select some trades there to make you some money, and see you on the other side. Cheers, folks. Take it easy. Bye-bye.